Welcome to the PokePod. We're a podcast, that's right, starring Brennon and Dan. So you might be asking yourself, what is a PokePod? Well, PokePod is what we call ourselves and what we call you too. It's a group of Pokemon Go players. When they travel in packs, we refer to it as a PokePod. So we'd like to welcome you to join us in our PokePod. So this is episode 1. Like I said earlier, my name is Brennon. I have been playing Pokemon Go since it was released in the United States. It's been a lot of fun. So much so that I have decided to join with my friend Dan to do this podcast together to bring news, strategy, and basically just a little slice of our Pokemon Go lives to all of you out there. So Dan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi PokePod, I am Dan. I am from Sweden. I noticed that Pokemon Go was released in the US, but it was released a week later here, so Brennon was way ahead of me. But fortunately, I was already playing a GPS game called turfgame.com, and I kind of tested to play them both at the same time. That worked very well. So I have been playing a lot of Pokemon Go, but I played the other game for 2 years, and when you discover someone playing the same game, it's like, whoa, it happens once a week. But with Pokemon Go, it happens, like every 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a true phenomenon. I mean, we have never seen a game join so many people from like such a wide area as this game. It's amazing. It's like what people who set out to make social games, it was their goal, and this surpassed like all expectations.
Definitely. Last weekend I spent with my friend, and everybody in the household was playing. All the kids, the wives, even the dog appreciated the game. So he got like 5 extra walks.
Right, because everybody wants to go for walkies to get the Pokemon.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, let's see. Let's start off with our weeks in review. Just a little what we're going to talk about every time you listen to us. Going to do a little bit of week in review to tell a little bit about what we did during the week, how Pokemon Go affected us this week, and what we may have found, cool little stories that we've come across. For example, just this past weekend, I went to pick up my kids at my mom's house. She lives in the middle of nowhere. It's in East Texas, and you drive about 100 miles away from the biggest city, and then you keep going a little further, and that's where she lives. So it's pretty rare. There were no stops. The kids were going through withdrawal for Pokemon stops and Pokemon gyms. So when we were eating lunch, all of a sudden my daughter looked at me, and I was like, what? And then my son, who is 9 years old, my daughter's 15, my son goes, Dad, there's an unclaimed gym across the street. And I was like, I looked at my mom and said, Mom, I love you, but we got to go. So I hadn't seen my kids in a week. We all packed the stuff in the car, went across the highway to this Collins Street Bakery. People listening may know that it's semi-famous. So Collins Street Bakery was the gym, but by the time we got there, someone had taken it with a 1400 Flareon. But that was it. There was just one Pokemon. And my kids, having been on Pokemon hiatus, didn't have any Pokemon anywhere near strong enough to take the gym. So we sat there in that parking lot of a restaurant that wasn't open, and the 3 of us sat there and just went after that Flareon until we took it over. And I just, I can't think of another time that the 3 of us have all played a game together so much so that it required as much physical activity, telling my mom, hey mom, I love you, but we're going to go take over this gym for a game on our phones.
Yep. That's what the game does.
Exactly. I guess I should say that my family is Team Mystic, along with about 42% of all Pokemon players.
Is it 42%?
It's 42%.
Wow. I too am Team Mystic, but my family is in disunity. But it was my brother-in-law and my godson who convinced me to go Mystic. And when I started the game, I was at my mother-in-law's house, and there was a lot of relatives there from my wife's family. And my brother-in-law told me, okay, it's time you install the game now. I was like, okay. So I installed it, and we were in the middle of nowhere as well, in the countryside. I think the game favors cities quite a lot.
Yes.
But then we started like, oh, there's a Rattata, whoa! And people were noticing at this family gathering what we were doing then, and they were like, oh, what's happening?
That's funny.
And, one by one, they started installing it. But there was, like the eldest generation didn't quite get it, but everyone else.
Yeah, it's so incredible. This happens. I've seen it happen every time, and it becomes a point to where people are like, "Well, if everybody's downloading it, it's free. Why am I not downloading it?" And what Dan said about cities being favored is so true. At where I am, I live in a Pokemon desert. I live about 40 miles outside of Dallas, Texas, and when you look at if I'm sitting in my office and I scan around me, I can see one Pokestop, and it's about 1.5 kilometers away walking. I think if you straight shot, it's closer, but you have to go around a little lake pond area. Only 3 streets over are 2 spawns that are consistent, but past that there's nothing here. I have to always drive into town or into somewhere else to go find
you know
Pokemon.
what, Brennan?
What's that?
I am hitting a Pokestop right now.
No, see that from your office you can hit Pokestops. My goodness.
I live in central Stockholm. I have 3 Pokestops I can hit from my bed.
That is crazy.
And they are often lured.
Really? I mean, just random people putting lures on them?
Bars.
Oh, man. Bars? That is great.
But I also live in the north of Sweden in a small town called Söderhamn. And there it's just the main street has about 15 Pokestops. And then there are like 10 around the town, but nowhere near where I live. So I have to take an extended dog walk to get to the closest one.
Right.
So when I spent the weekend there with my friends, we ran out of Pokeballs.
Oh, wow. Even when you spent the weekend? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so now I am hoarding them.
Yeah.
Next visit to the north.
Man, I'm such an addict. When I go by any stop, I will spin it, and I've gotten to the point where I've had to increase my item bag size to 500 because I won't give up anything.
Exactly. I think you can delete the simplest potions and
exactly
revives.
Yeah, one day you got that. Okay, let's talk about Pokemon Go news. Well, I think the biggest thing affecting most people right now is the fact that Niantic took down, bringing it up on the screen, Pokevision. You can see that sad little line in the middle. It says, our services are currently unavailable. Please visit Twitter for our updates. Okay, quick history. Pokevision was built on top of the API used in Ingress. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, I did play that too at one point.
Yeah.
I played a lot of GPS games.
Yep. So, if you didn't know, Pokemon Go was built on top of Ingress. Ingress data is used to populate all Pokemon stops and gyms. So, what Pokevision did is use that same API that they made freely available for Ingress, used it and applied it to Pokevision, and would show you on a map with great accuracy where something was spawned and for how long it would be there. And I think it was 12 minutes. Like it would spawn, something would spawn and then the clock immediately ticks down. 12 minutes.
Yeah, you could see the exact Pokemon and
Yep.
how long it would stay. It was amazing.
I did. One time I saw it and I didn't have a Scyther, and I saw it pop up in the main town area where I live, and I got in my car because when I saw it, it said 8 minutes. I was like, "Oh no, can I make it there in 8 minutes?"
Did you make it?
I made it with 1 minute left because I put a timer. I said, "Siri, I need a countdown for 8 minutes." I set my phone down.
What was it?
Yeah, it was Scyther, and I got him, and he was 475 CP.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's very good, and I don't know how this disadvantaged anyone because they took away this with the last update. They took away the steps too, and I'll bring up the Pokemon. Here it is. Here's their Twitter. This is Pokevision. Said, "Hey guys, we wish we had some news for you. At this moment, we are respecting Niantic and Nintendo's wishes. We'll keep you guys posted." That was on the 31st. And that same day they said, "We took our Teespring down." They were selling t-shirts for Pokevision website because while we do want Pokevision to be up, we can't guarantee it and don't want to give false hope.
This is probably the point where we should mention that if you go to the YouTube channel Hard Nerd Cafe, you can see the graphics.
Oh, that's right.
During our podcast, this has a graphic element as well, but we will. That's not necessary for you to do, but it's an added bonus.
Yep. I will bring up graphics and try to make it at least visually interesting.
Hard Nerd Cafe on YouTube.
Yep. That is where we will be located. So anyway, they Pokevision brought down by the gears of progress. So that was one of the main news stories of this week, and the fact that it was really truly down because there was people thought that there was just a glitch in the API, but actually Pokevision itself was told in no uncertain terms that this would be that they should do this, otherwise they might have even faced legal action.
Yeah, I saw a lot of complaints in the community actually about Pokevision, so this was not 100% unexpected.
Oh really? What kind of complaints were you seeing?
Yeah, that it was cheating.
Cheating. You know, I would agree with that if the steps in the app worked.
Yeah, the steps, that's another story. Let's not go into them.
Okay. We'll talk about that on another on another time. Okay. Well, that was a big news element. Let's talk a little bit about tips and tactics. Dan, I think you wanted to discuss an egg party.
Yeah, the egg party is the key. I bet a lot of you already know about the lucky eggs and how you should use them. But this is the very fastest way of leveling. And level matters at least until you hit 20. So you have to do the egg party. And it can be fun. So what you do is at level 9, you get your first lucky egg. You can also buy them in the shop for $1, about there.
Right.
You get another lucky egg at 10, and you get a lucky egg at 15, I think.
That sounds right.
So the trick is to never evolve anything before that. So when you hit 9, bring your friends, go to somewhere where there are Pokestops. Then you use the lucky egg, you get double XP for 30 minutes. Then you do all your evolves, because you get 500 XP per evolve, and under the lucky egg, you get 1000 XP. So at level 9, you should be able to do about 20 to 30 evolves, and that will propel you a long way ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The reason you should be close to a Pokestop is that you should lure it, and then the biggest mistake you can make, or a big mistake you can make, is to stay in place. Because lures and incense, you could also use incenses here, because you get double XP for all the Pokemons you pick up, and for the Pokestops as well. But if you move, both the Pokestops that are lured and your incense spawns a lot more Pokemons. For incense, it's a Pokemon every 5 minutes if you stay in place. But it's one every minute or every 200 meters if you move.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
You have to move during the egg party, and that's... I've never done that, but I realized that yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And if you have more people, it's more fun, and you can also probably use more lures. So then you should wait till about maybe 14, and then do the other lucky egg. Get your third lucky egg at 15, and every time you have enough Pokemons to evolve, do the lucky egg trick. And of course, buying extra lucky eggs from the store helps a lot to do this more often.
Right.
But the efficiency decreases if you do it too often. So what I do now is, after a good day of Pokemon Go, and I might gather 100 Pokemons, so then I use the lucky egg in bed, hitting the Pokestops. But now I have to move, so I don't know how to do that. When you move in Pokemon Go, you have to move in a straight line. It will sometimes not count your position, because it samples your position with some time between every sampling. So if you move in a circle, it might count as nothing. But if you move in a straight line, you always know it counts.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So that's the egg party. We're going to use that term. So egg party is the 30 minutes. You got the lucky egg. You're doing all your evolves. Remember to transfer every Pokemon you don't need, so you can get more candy to do more evolves. And of course, this means that the Pokemons that cost 12 to evolve, that's Caterpie, Weedly, and Pidgey. They are the most important. So make sure you pick these up.
Oh yeah, you can. If you've been playing for a while and you're tired of seeing them, if you are not picking up I can understand if you don't pick up, Rattatas and Venonats that take 25 and 50, but those ones that take 12 are so vitally important, because every 4 that you get will let you evolve one completely. And actually,
it's even more with the transfers.
Right, and once you transfer, you'll be left over with, let's see, you have 4, you'll be left over with 3, so then the next 3 you get will let you evolve 1, and then so you just keep that cycle going. And it's extremely efficient and super fast, and you get all those rewards every time you level up. It's so great.
Yeah, it feels a bit broken. Remember also to kill those evolved guys, like the Pidgeottos you get. Perhaps keep the biggest one, but kill the others for more candy and more evolves.
Right. Yeah. Oh.
Hesitate. Kill them.
Yep. It's go ahead. Yeah. Send them on the professor. The professor does.
Sure, that guy kills them.
No. I don't know if he kills them. He sends them to a happy place, Dan, where they can be free.
Kansas?
Kansas, yes. Kansas. I just see Kansas being just overrun with Rattatas and Pidgeys.
And you can't catch them because they're free.
They're free. No more catching these guys.
We'll do a strategy segment each week. We want your input on how advanced we should be in these tips and how much of them you want. So if you want to give us feedback, head over to Facebook and the PokePod podcast. That's our Facebook page.
Facebook.com/the PokePod podcast. It is a mouthful, but I know you can get there. All right. Also, these videos will be, if you go to YouTube, search for Hard Nerd Cafe, and you can see the beautiful graphics that we have here. So also, if you want to see tweets from us in regards to Pokemon and other various nerdy things, that's why we have the Hard Nerd Cafe. I am at Cerulean Says Hi, and Dan is at Dan Horning.
Oh, yeah.
So, for this week on the PokePod podcast, I am Brennon.
And I'm Dan.
And welcome to the PokePod.
Yes.